Hello, hello. Welcome back to anyone who just joined me for our writing sprints. Who is ready to plan? I know I'm coming a day early, but it was the only spot that we had open in the virtual writing retreat weekend. So instead of making you guys choose, take the open slot. Let's get our planning on. Sometimes actually I feel like if you get it done a day earlier, I hear a lot of people use Friday, and it just kind of, they have enough of an idea of how the week has gone, and they have the backup days that are coming. It's kind of a nice balance. So sometimes it's nice just doing it on a Friday or Saturday, just to kind of mix things up, and also to be able to have that extra time to get things done and be able to take them off from this week, but also knowing their importance and renewing our commitment. Okay, guys, so let's plan the right way. Just hit the like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to get in a little extra work since I missed most of the morning and afternoon today. I will see you tomorrow, hun, for our writing sprints. Jenna, hugs all, using this time to get my chores done so I can finish chapter 26 later tonight. High five the like button. Love that. Crystal, thanks for hosting today, Tracy. You're so welcome. I'm excited to get a head start for tomorrow. Yes. Phyllis, hello again. Ready to plan. Yes. Mary, hello, hello. How's it going on again? Crystal just brewed 2 fresh ginger roots. So spicy, ready to go. Oh, I love the energy. Phyllis just finished writing my writing goals for 2024. Excited for the new year. Yes. I have a pretty good idea. There's a couple of them I'm still playing with, things to just kind of flesh it out and get it more specific. So I've kind of just enjoying the process and just enjoying, and I already know certain things I want to get done, so focusing on them while I play with the other and see, is it now or is it a little bit later? When is this going to fit best, right? Let's see. Chris, I'm writing, but I like having the group around me. You're inspiring. Thank you, hon. Pardon me. Alexandra, same. I love our community. Yes. Louise, hello, hun. Okay, guys, let's dive in, because even though we have a bit of time, we still have to make sure that we should be done before Jen starts with the writing sprints. Nothing like having back-to-back, right? Okay, guys, let's dive in. So let's plan the right way. This is our weekly edition. I also have a monthly edition, which I have to figure out where I'm going to put in the schedule. I think it'll probably be next weekend, 28th, and then we'll plan February. So watch for that. And I don't know what that means for the weekly. I might have to do the weekly earlier, or so. I don't know. Watch for notifications. I might do it as a community tab, or I might just put them up and make sure you have your notifications turned on. All right, guys. Why we plan: for direction, focus, and balance, to reduce stress, and to measure progress. You are the hero of your own story. And we're trying to, unlike our stories where we tend to want to bring more and more chaos to our characters' world and conflict, we're trying to reduce it to make things as easy as possible for ourselves, as well defined as possible, so we know what it is we need to do, when we're going to do it, and how. All right, guys, our commitment statement. This is our mantra. This is what we say to ourselves to ensure that we're making ourselves a priority, making the things that matter to us a priority, and getting it done, getting what matters done. This week, I will make myself a priority and follow through and give myself the time I need to make progress on the projects that matter to me. This does not mean giving up sleep, though often it ends up doing that because we make everything else come first. We need to start making ourselves a priority and not burning ourselves out by actually laying out a plan. Yes, there's going to be little bumps here and there. That's life. But we're trying to reduce all the things that are harming us and have a healthier life, a happier life, a more balanced life. That includes the things that we love, includes our passion projects, includes time for our businesses, for defining what we want to do in our businesses. All right. Okay, guys. Backstory. We always start with backstory because we need to see where we've been. So we have to reflect and celebrate our successes and gold star moments. We want to analyze the challenges that we faced and take in those biggest distractions, try to figure out why and how they're happening so we can prevent them, and definitely take note of our best fixes so we can use them again in the future. To be continued. What needs to be continued or carried forward? How much did you accomplish? Often it is not a zero. Sometimes we just define more than we can do in the time that we have. So if you got 50% done, you give yourself credit for that 50% off. 50% off, the 50% you did, because you're learning that it takes longer to do things sometimes. So, yeah, you got a half done, but really you put double on your plate, which of what you could do with the time you had, right? So we're always learning. What else needs to be done? So we can now break it down and see what the next steps are. And is this project bigger or more complex than you thought? Often is. Okay, guys, let's get our 2-minute timer up. And let's get our notebook out. I'm just going to scribble in this little guy here, just so that I can lay out my pre-plan. And just my everything notebook, whatever I need goes in here. And that way I don't have to worry about making anything pretty. Okay, guys, 2 minutes, and let's do our backstory. So how did you guys do? I managed to move through almost to the end of another module of my developmental editing class I'm taking. And writing wise, I am ahead by 1 chapter so far from what my plan was. The content stuff I wanted to do for February, which was sort of loosely in the plan. I haven't done that yet, but I'm hoping to get that done tomorrow. I should have more of a window for that. And other than that, not bad. I'm finding that I'm back to using the trackers for the main things I want to do, and that is helping quite a bit. So how did your week last week go? What would you consider your gold star moments and your best fixes? And what major thing are you going to continue? And do you think you'll be able to wrap it up this week? I would like to, I'm going to add one more chapter to my goals for this week. Since we do have the virtual writing retreat, I think I can get it done. And then as for the course, I need to put together, finish the assignment. And I may be using Gen Sprint for that tonight, and maybe one other tomorrow, and then I should be able to get back to writing, I think. I hope. Okay, guys. The next step is reluctance. What are you avoiding? Why? Does it still matter? Break it down, make it priority number one, schedule it, and get it done. This one is sort of a connection to B2B continued, but these are ones that have kind of been hanging out on our list for a while, things that are bugging us, and we want to see these things gone and done. Usually they're more annoying tasks that we need to see moving forward and getting done. Making that doctor's appointment or dentist's appointment, making the going and getting your car insurance paid for in advance of the due date. That way it's just done, right? Like, you know what's coming instead of waiting to the last day, potentially driving without insurance. It does happen. Get it done a little bit earlier, or more likely it's something that is a phone call that it could open something up for you, but you've got to take that next step, right? Louise, my big thing is working through my resistance around editing. I tapped into a deep old reason for that. My logical mind knew better, but the subconscious felt different. Laugh aloud. This is editing and getting this blurb request done. The second is done, and I've made great progress on editing the book. Oh, I love that. That is awesome. Okay, guys, 2 minutes, and let's figure out what we've been avoiding and what is going to be. Let's define our first step, tiny little step that we're going to take to get it off our list. And go. Okay. So I chose content creation and I'm try batching and having myself a couple months ahead so that at least with the images and graphics and stuff that I would need, and that way it's easier for me to put stuff together when I want to do it instead of having to resource the images and then get started. I can have maybe 2 or 3 months worth of images maybe already sorted by either quarter or season, just to make my life easier. And that way, when I want to do something creative in terms of content creation, it's there and ready for me. I think that'll be a lot easier than always mad scrambling right before I need them. Like I'm usually good for the month, but I find myself quite often days before the beginning of the new month going, uh-oh, I haven't done that. I want to start fixing that and having myself be more sorted and organized. And that way I can stop looking at the list, which I've written it down now twice for the month. So basically last week and this week. And now we're entering, our final week. Yeah, it's almost the final week. We kind of have a partial for the next one. So final full week of January, and I'm still just moving it around. I don't want to do that anymore. What did you guys come up with? What have you been reluctant to do? What have you been putting off? Mary, avoiding up to today writing. I did some journaling earlier today and have a few insights. I'll break it down by focusing on my new characters before getting back into the story itself. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Get to know your characters. Like I use the voice journaling. I absolutely love it. They tell me stuff all the time. They correct me, if you will. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that because that's not who I am, right? And they're like, okay, and they unfold on the page, and it's so much more organic and authentic for the character in the end. So, yeah, sometimes I still have to force an action on them just to get the words on the page, but it's nice when I can actually have them kind of tell me. And that's just simply by exploring and journaling in their voice. Okay, guys, our next section is scenes, strategies, definition, a section where there is action, a beginning, middle, and end, and it moves the story forward. So we're going to look at some things that for basic information and structures that we can use to help us move our story forward, our own personal journeys. We're all on a quest to create a better life for ourselves. The life that we crave, the business that we crave, the creative world in which we want to live in, and we want to have a focus. Crystal, Friday I spent the day knocking out 90% of the tasks I had been dreading. Oh, I love that. You know what? We don't normally use the celebration screen in this one, but I think this is very fitting. Woo! Crystal, that is awesome. Wow. Woo! Confetti. Excellent. Wow. You are amazing, hon. Oh, that must feel so good. All that's left will be driver's license renewal due in April and taxes. Oh, that is awesome, hon. And you're not delayed on those. Those are up to date. Oh, so good. And the driver's license renew, I think, can actually even be done earlier. Like, I want to say like 6 weeks in advance or something. So you don't even have to wait till the end, right? Thank you. That made my smile so big. Aw, you're so welcome, hon. Okay, guys. Are we here? Get me back on my panels. Clarity. What do you want to achieve? Why do you want to achieve it? How are you going to achieve it? This is entering the trials, because face it, not everything we try is going to work for us, right? Our own processes will come to us as to what works for us, and we're going to try things as we build and grow our systems and processes and find out what works for us, right? What are you going, when are you going to achieve it? Is it a morning, afternoon, or night? When is basically your most productive time for that kind of task? Are you going to do 30 minutes a day or 2 3 hour sessions a week? How are you going to divide it up? Is it sort of one of those things that you're better off doing deep focus? Or it's one of those things where you hit a timer and do it for 15 minutes and you do it like a daily of it. And that way it never builds up. What works better for you? Phyllis, need to schedule the shredding again. Also backing up my Dropbox. Oh, Dropbox. I have feels about Dropbox. It has not played nice. But then again, I set it up wrong, but then I could only set it up wrong because the scenario in which it was needed, the other software had already existed on the system. So I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, right? Crystal, thank you, Louise. Okay, guys, so keep in mind your what, why, how, and when, because when we're making our goals or what we want to achieve, we want to know that they're important to us and we're really doing something that matters to us. Sometimes we do the shoulds because we believe that that's what we need to do, but really, do we? I mean, we have to look at them in relation to our own goals, not someone else's, right? Actions are next task steps, measured increments, good, better, best goals, which are still one of my fave. You always make you feel good because you have one that's very reasonable that you can do, one that's a little bit uncomfortable, and then one that's just over the moon, right? Your micro steps, breaking it down to those baby steps that are just easy to check off, right? Delegating, sometimes there's stuff on our list that we do not need to be the ones to do it. Someone else can. It's not ours to deal with, and we should let the other person deal with it. And anything we need to delete, sometimes we just get things on our list that just hang out and they don't belong there, guys. Free yourself of them. We're always looking, of course, for any problems or delays, and if we know how they're going to impact us, or at least can see them coming, we can work with that information and try to prevent ourselves from getting stuck, from being delayed on hold for something that maybe we didn't need to if we'd seen it coming. All right. Target dates. We want to be realistic in terms of the time required. Maybe we can give ourselves a squeak more time just so we have a nice window of time to work. That will incorporate naturally sick days and life coming at us if we give ourselves that little bit extra. We want to choose a date, put it on our calendar, and schedule it. Daily and weekly goals, we want to maybe break it down a little bit to make it a little easier for us. And doing weekly check-ins are going to ensure that we're taking accountability and checking in and seeing how we're doing. Louise, I'm retired and single and I live alone, so I have all the time in the world, which leaves me with incompletes. This is not working for me, so I'm going to set some specific times to be at my desk. Yes, I find that I've been putting that in my own calendar. I don't always make it to the beginning time that I have laid out, but I look at that calendar and I see that I'm supposed to be there. I'm going to get there. Even if I'm late, I'm going to get there. Sometimes that means staying a little bit later at the desk, but hey, at least I'm getting my butt in the chair, right? Totally hear you on that one. All right, guys, our stage 3, plotting, series of related events and making up a story. The 5 basic elements of story are setting, characters, plot, conflict, and resolution. And how these are some of the ones that basically I compare this to for our own personal lives. Reality, life, and all the things that we have to get done, the things that we have to do in order to pay the bills, to feed the family, to keep gas in our cars, all the necessaries, keeping the fam happy and healthy. And then the dream life that we are working toward so that we can stop the day job and make money off of our creative projects and have more freedom, even maybe sometimes maybe it's not quitting the job, maybe it's just reducing the number of hours we have to commit to it so that we can have more time to our creative selves. Eloise, and other times I take care of housework, meal prep, shopping, etc. And it means if I'm not working but lost in Facebook, I will leave my desk and do something else. True, yes. And there's a balancing act to all that because once you leave your desk, you're gonna have to take the steps to get back to it. But those other things need to get done as well. I have basically tried to just have an errand day. I don't even schedule any work during it or during that day at all, because I know it's an unknown variable how long things are going to take. I'm out of the house and I'm just going to try to get as much done of that out of the house stuff as I can in that one day, so I'm not interrupting the other days when I want to be at my desk, when I'm scheduled to be at my desk. Okay, guys. First off, our quarterly focus. What do you have that is new to Q1? New opportunities, prep research that you want to do, anything that you need to reduce, remove, or delay that maybe isn't going to fit into the plan. We've had a couple weeks now to get into it. Maybe something's there that's just not going to quite work the way we hoped it would. Let's take a look at our plans and see if we need to make any adjustments or simply what it is we're pulling into this week's specific part of the plan. And go. Okay. So for me, the developmental editing class is the one that I have to make priority. I'm also doing the Ramp Up Your Writing Challenge, and that one is a 7 day, so I'm halfway through that. I have to write another, I want to say like 2,500 words tomorrow. And then the next day I need to do over 3,000. And I think one more day after that. So I have to incorporate that into my plan as well. But I wanted to I felt it was great timing with the virtual writing retreat to just have that extra little bit of writing challenge, not too long, just fun. Plus it would help me get over the hump of developing this story out. The first draft is a hot mess, but it did show me where the story, what parts of the story were working and what certainly needed to be changed. So I'm glad I did it. I wrote it relatively quickly. And when it comes to development editing class, I am behind on that one. because sick days and all that. And it's amazing how when you're trying to do your homework and if you don't feel good, that don't work. So the intermediate class starts the first week of February, second week of February. When is it again? February 7th. So first week of February. And I need to have the beginning class done. So that's going to be important. Let's see. Mary, Louise, that's a good idea. Yes. Mary knew I want to declutter and organize my notebook, planner, purse closet. Fellow purse enthusiast. Love it. Reducing the visual clutter in both my room, my office area. Nice. Louise, I need to finish this work in progress by February 15th and then plan the next series. I have 4 books going to an editor this spring and summer, but that means I must stay on track now, else I will be in a mess come June. Yes. Oh, do you have them prioritized as to which ones have to be done first? Is there any kind of priority list to that? Louise, and I want to finish my Facebook ads, I think is what that says, course in the next few weeks. Perfect. Okay, guys, I also broke it down. I have to do the editorial letter, which is our main project for the end. It's sort of for your own practice. This one's a self-paced, but I really want to do it because I know that in the intermediate level, she will be marking stuff. So I want to make sure I'm doing this. So I have to do a developmental letter, editing letter, and I've got it broken down by its parts, and I'm hoping to be able to tick off at least a couple of those this weekend, if not 3. All right, guys, let's dive into our next one. Projects. This is the easy one. We usually know what our projects are, what is ongoing and what is new. And you're going to define your what, why, and how. We're breaking it down. We're making it simple. We're defining it. And I want to add one word to that. We will get to this, but I want you to start thinking about it. And we're going to add our when to that. Oops. Okay, so let's get our 2-minute timer up and let's list out our projects and give a little bit of detail to that of the why will probably stay in your head, but the how is kind of how you're breaking it down. And basically, is this a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday project, or kind of give it some space where you might want it, right? And go. Okay. Louise, priority, current work in progress is it's book 5 of the series. Next series is in that same universe, small town contemporary romance, but I need to find a new theme or link. These will be standalones. Oh, interesting. Phyllis just updated all of my projects and Kanban boards. Nice. Awesome. So, priority number 1, class. Priority number 2, writing. Continuing to ramp up your writing challenge, which is simply a 7-day challenge of starting with 444 words and adding 444 words to each day. So you go from 444 words to, I want to say 3,500 or so, I think, on the last day. So it's kind of that building the muscle kind of thing. And the other part of it was to try to write multiple times a day and find like 4 windows of time for writing throughout the day. The smaller numbers, I didn't sort of need that, but I think once I get up to the bigger, I'm going to have to do that, which is, again, why I thought Virtual Writing Retreat was perfect, because we're writing all day long. I'm going to be taking Sarah's new class. The title. Brain. Follow your path. No. Hold on. I don't want to mess up the name. I will get it correct. Where are we here? Your path forward. So I'm going to be taking that on Saturday. I'm not sure what that's going to do in terms of sprints. I will update you guys. We may have to move things around a little bit or something, because it's actually going to be an actual course that we take throughout the day. And then finally, I'm going to do a small bit for the content and just work on those images. You are so welcome, Diane. You are so welcome, hon. Okay, guys, our next panel, important dates for the next 2 weeks. This is where we use our Google Calendar. So your events, birthdays, appointments, commitments, and workshop classes that you want to attend. We're going to note travel time, action steps, prep, confirmation if needed, and any paperwork. If there is some, we want to get it done and have it ready before the appointment and make sure that we have it in a place that we will not forget it. Louise, I signed up for Sarah's class on Saturday. Like you, can't wait to see how it goes. Yes, yes. Okay, guys, so let's bring up your monthly calendar. Like I said, I'm going to use good old Google, and it's the easiest one, especially for sharing with the hubby. Krista, how often will Sarah offer that course throughout the year? I think she's going to offer it as a pre-recorded after this one. I don't know if she'll go back. It's very new, so I don't know if she will. That is a good question. I don't know. That's a simple answer. Currently, as far as I know, she's going to just, I think, open it up and make it available as a pre-recorded, like the manifest one. But she might change her mind on that. I don't know how she'll do the live piece afterwards. Okay, guys, let's do our 2 minutes. Sometimes this is enough time, depending how crazy the schedule is. So you can always come back to this one, right? So let's get these all recorded down so we know what's coming at us the next 2 weeks, guys, and go. Hmm. Where is he? Okay. Next week's relatively okay. The week after that, we've got a few appointments from extra here. Someone's gonna probably have to give a little bit. That might be harder to follow. Let's see. That reminds me then that also I have to make that class a priority this week when I have the time. Let's see. What did you guys come up with? Louise, one doctor's appointment on Monday. Other than that, the next 2 weeks are open. Nice. Phyllis, this is a good panel. I just added some travel time for an upcoming appointment. Perfect. Also have some upcoming meetings for my day job. Going to make sure I look at that calendar as well. Oh, perfect. Yes. If you guys have multiple calendars, definitely check them both. Nothing worse than having things overlapping. Mary, I have lunch with my bestie on the 27th and an appointment to file my taxes on February 2nd. One of my sisters has a birthday coming up on the 6th. Nice. Well, happy birthday to her. Okay, guys. Supporting tasks. These are the nitty-gritty, the things that keep us fed and hopefully happy and sheltered and all the things. So these are supporting tasks. This even includes work schedule, in my opinion. I want to break this one down though. On the monthly, we have this as like personal tasks and work tasks, and I think I want to do that on this one as well. So I will be updating that. So what we have is chores, errands, meal planning, exercise plan, your min tasks, your business planning, banking, bill due dates, insurance, your planning, your daily and weekly, when you want to actually do these things and sit down with yourself and give yourself that window of time, and the live sprints that you want to attend. Batch related tasks together, so you can do all the things that you want to do, and all those little teeny things that sometimes feel like we put them off because, oh, it'll only take a few minutes. Put them all together, put one timer on, just keep checking those boxes, guys. Okay, let's make a list of the things that we cannot ignore, because if we ignore them, it's not too good for us. Cleaning should, yeah, like even the cleaning, like when we ignore and we let things slip, we have a far bigger mess to clean up with, and we don't want to do that. Do you do this often? I absolutely love this way to plan. We try to do them weekly, but the schedule does not always cooperate. I also have a monthly and a session as well. So sometimes I have to encourage you guys to do the replay of the weekly so that we can fit in the monthly to have the bigger picture for ahead. I'm trying to think in terms of maybe recording a clean version of each, and that way when we can't get together and do this as like a planning circle, you guys will have that clean version to work through. So trying to figure out what that looks like though, still in the planning stages. Okay guys, let's get our 2-minute timer up and figure out what we're going to do in terms of our chores this week and errands and what days we should do them, and go. So what did you guys end up with on your list? I got to do some bill payments this week. I have some returns I have to deal with. The time is getting a little closer on them. They're not there yet, but they're getting close enough that I am starting to say they need to get out of my house. Should bank a Costco run this week. We didn't really go anywhere over the last few days or so because we decided to get a foot of snow here and have ridiculously cold temperatures to go with it. So, yeah, I've basically been hibernating in my house, which made it wonderful and easy for doing classes and writing. Not so much for doing the other things I need to do outside this house. And then I've decided that my first check mark for each day in terms of my habit tracker is I'm going to do morning planning after I do my morning pages, and that way I can put that first check mark on there and it'll feel so good. Let's see. Have fun. Subscriptions. I'm so new to that. I have to actually look into that. Mary, chores, dishes, laundry, trash. Yep. Payday is coming this week, but it will be a short paycheck due to the semester break, so I'll have to do a little juggling to pay some bills. You got the time off, but then, right? Always. It either seems like you have the money or you have the time. It's very seldom the two like to play together. Louise, between a nasty bug and frigid temperatures, I've barely been outside for 2 weeks. I hear your pain. Yes. I broke my hip years ago, and I tend to hibernate when it is icy outside because I'm terrified of breaking the other one or re-breaking it or anything. So I tend to go like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to. I will buy my groceries and extras. I won't do anything to not go out in it. Okay, guys. Daily habits. This one's a semi-new panel. We are going to define what 3 to 5 things we want to do on a daily basis this week. What we want to kind of work on, what we want to improve, what we want to make sure that we're kind of making a priority of. 3 of mine are writing, morning pages, and for me, I'm back up to the walking 6K. I'm actually over that, so I'm not quite ready to change from the 6K yet because I don't want to make it so that I push too hard and then I start not being able to check those boxes. So I'm going to keep it at 6K for now. And I got to figure out what my other 2 are. I'm not entirely sure yet. But you know what? If they're new to you, start maybe just the 3. And these are things that you want to do on the daily and check off. One, if you haven't done it, I highly recommend is making your bed in the morning when you get up. It stops you from wanting to crawl back into it. It's amazing. It's not like it takes a long time to make the bed, but it's just when that thing is made and you're like looking at it going, I could use a nap, you're less likely to crawl back into that bed. Let's see, Louise, hibernation is smart in your circumstances. I claim my age as the reason to stay inside when it's icy and cold. Yeah. Crystal, I am pretty consistent with chores and scheduling and homeschool, so I am moving everything across the board to all schedules. Nice. Louise, health journal, some housework, and walk every day. Yes, yes. All right, guys, let's figure out what these habits are going to be that we want to include. What did you guys come up with? I added to that and I put my class in there because I know I have to get this done. I want a good week's worth of a break in between the beginning class and the intermediate ones. So I know my deadline is really coming up fast. And I put a nice self-care one on there, one that I kind of miss getting to do. I read every night, love my Kindle for night reading, but I want to do more daytime reading, more reading for information and being able to take notes. So one thing I can't see, I don't feel inclined to do on my Kindle. I just don't. I know it can, but it's not something I find myself doing. So Louise again is a health journal, some housework, and walk every day. Perfect. Mary, habits, morning pages, not limited to morning. Yeah, I'm trying to get them done with the rule that I want to try to have them done before the afternoon at the very least. When I end up finding myself doing them at night, I'm like, I don't know if this is good. My state of mind is different. I'm not quite as open to just throwing it onto the page. I don't know. It comes out different. Spend at least 5 minutes on writing related thing. Nice. And dishes before bed. The writing for me is just showing up and doing something for my writing. I'm not including the ramp up challenge, even though I guess I could have, but that's kind of its own separate thing. It's just showing up and working on my writing in some way. Let's see. Crystal, my current habits are Bible, Gasha. What is Gasha? Affirmations, mobility, workout, stretch, meditate, journal ×2, plan, write, read fiction and nonfiction, and protein, veggies, no sugar. Ooh, that is quite the list. Wow. Are they broken down to sort of like part of your morning routine, your night routine, and something sprinkled in the middle? I'm assuming, because otherwise that's wow. Let's see. All right, guys, protagonist. Definition: the character who drives the action. You. And we have to take care of you. And we have to remember that without you, none of your other dreams can come true. You have to be well enough and fit enough and present enough in order to be able to do the things that we want to do, right? So the first one we're going to start with, which is kind of related to our habits, is our misbeliefs. What bad choices have you been making that are affecting your overall health, energy, and concentration? An example goal would be making one small change this week of drinking water in place of sugary drinks, or having a no sugar plan. Sometimes I find very much with me, I will say I'm going to reduce the amount of sugar, and I feel like sometimes the moment I have some, that's it. Then it's a free-for-all and I can enjoy it. So sometimes I end up having to put a no sugar because otherwise I'm going to have more than I should. Let's see. All is morning routine minus the planning, reading, and eating. Interesting. I like that. I wake up around 3, so oh wow. Okay, then that makes more sense. I am unfortunately a night owl, and I'm more likely to go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Not good. I fought it for years, but really, honestly, I am a night owl. It's just my natural being. All right, guys, let's do 2 minutes and figure out what our misbelief is and what small little change we're going to make in the right direction to make ourselves a little bit healthier and happier and help with our concentration. Because I often find, especially when I'm having the sugar, my concentration is not what I like it to be. Okay, guys, and proceed. So what did you come up with? I was gonna do the sugar thing, but I think because I start with a sugary, syrupy coffee in the morning, a large one that I love making from my espresso, I'm gonna make a slightly different one. I'm gonna go with start first with water. I'm going to do a tall glass of ice water in the morning, maybe with lemon, see whether or not that part plays out, before I allow myself a coffee. I was trying to do this week where I just basically made the coffee or the water first and then was sipping it as I'm making the coffee. But it just generally ended up sitting on the counter as I made the coffee. So I could just have to make it that I drink that water first and then I can have the coffee and see how that plays out. With the hope that maybe eventually I will go reach for another water instead of another nice giant cup of coffee with all the syrupy goodness. I may be slightly addicted. Let's see, Mary, I've been watching too much YouTube, so one small change I want to make is to pull up my writing playlist instead and, oh, perfect, and open a doc or your notebook. I love that. Yes. For me, I find myself every once in a while, my rule tends to be that I cannot watch YouTube unless I'm moving, which is getting my steps in. And sometimes I find myself breaking that rule, and I stop myself pretty quick these days and get moving. Can't watch it unless I'm moving. Louise, I'm going to do clean low carb this week. I'm a celiac. Me too. And haven't eaten sugar for 45 years, but I still need to decrease my carbs. Interesting. I find, I guess this is part of my issue with being a celiac. It tends to be easier for me to find junk food, which is gluten-free, than it is to find food that is something I can grab that's quick and easy, that's a meal. So quite often I will snack on chips or cookies or chocolate, and it's not at the healthiest choice. I feel it in my productivity at the end of the day. So I'm slowly thinking in terms of things I can have on hand, like maybe a veg tray or fruit tray or something. Yeah, it's going to be sugar, but at least it's going to be, natural sugars, and just sort of move away from that a bit. I luckily have found a wonderful source for gluten-free bread, so I will make myself a sandwich, but that's still carb heavy. I need to move away from that bit. Phyllis, good point. Yes, moving and standing more during the day. Yes. Louise, totally agree, Tracy. I have spells where I do the same thing, and that was the holidays for me. Oh, oh, I hear ya. I don't know, anyone who may be in the Vancouver, BC area may have heard of this company. It's local. So Wendell's, and they make beautiful gluten-free yummies that and they make like gluten-free shortbread and stuff for the Christmas season. We won't discuss how many boxes I bought because they're only available for a limited time, and I know for the rest of the year I won't see them. I won't see them again until basically like November. So I am bad, and I was really bad. I mean, the boxes are only little, like there's like a dozen in them in each one, but still I did go a little crazy. But delicious, right? Okay, guys, our new skills. We're building a better you. This is you 2.0. What skills do you need to make all those dreams come true? So why this skill? Why now? Do you need to apply for it or purchase it? Basically, what are you signing up for as well? That should actually be in here. Like, what is that going to look for? Like, I know that the next one, this one I just took, the beginner's level one was self-paced. I have a year of having the course, take it however I want. But this one is going to be a 4-week course. There's going to be homework and assignments. There's going to be videos I'm going to have to watch. Things are going to have to be handed in on deadline. It's going to be a very different scenario. What does your reading study time look like? What does your coursework look like? What are you going to need? Do you need to get some binders? Do you need to get ink for your printer? Any specific tools or textbooks or anything that might go with that? Your practice time, actually learning the skill and taking it and incorporating it and making it part of yourself as a skill that you can reach for with mastery at some point, and your evaluation. And how do these support your future self? Let's see, Louise, my kids always give me treats for Christmas. Have a love, bless their hearts. Yep. Advertising on Facebook, need to finish that course and get good at it. Yes, yes, I hear you. All right, guys, let's get our 2-minute timer up and figure out what our new skills are, what's ongoing, where you're kind of at with it. Do a little check-in with yourself and go. Okay, what did you guys come up with? I am back to my current course. I need to I'm new to it, so I'm still developing my style. I need to think about where I naturally lean into, which areas, the developmental edit, versus what I need to maybe create a little cheat sheet or a checklist or something for myself to stay focused on as well, the things I don't so naturally look at in a manuscript. And then maybe taking from the coursework itself, maybe some phrases that I can reach for when reaching out to a client, and start my resource list by category of excellent articles and stuff that I can share that are specific to something that I may be trying to teach, and breaking it down by that. So just kind of things I want to keep in mind as I'm moving forward. And they'll definitely also impact how well I do in the intermediate level class. Let's see, Mildred, this week and the next will be concentrating on my cultural activities. I have scheduled a refresher for editing program as my videos will be ready for shooting by the end of the month. Nice. Mary, I've been reading Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg. I want to use the habit recipe from the book to create my habits. Oh, interesting. I've not heard of that one. I'm going to take a little wee note here. Okay, let's see. Tiny Habits. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Thank you for sharing. Phyllis, I have captured these in my writing goals for 2024. Thanks for the reminder. Perfect. All right, guys. Our next panel is on hold. What is on hold this week and why? Is it no longer a priority, or are you waiting on someone or something to continue it? And when do you plan to pick the project up again? Is this something that's going to be shelved for the quarter? Or is it something, or for a longer period? What is it? Kind of take a look at maybe why you're doing it, so that you're ensuring that it's going to move into the correct place when you continue it again. If you're going to continue it, maybe it's just sort of an on hold, delete until it becomes a priority in the future. Phyllis going to revisit the NaNoWriMo manuscript revision resources. Nice, love that. Okay, guys, what do you have on hold, if anything? Or maybe something that you may see that you need to put on hold, and go. Excellent. So for me, some of my content creation is going to have to be on pause. I have to make sure I get this course done, and I want to make sure that I have the time to get my writing done. Those two are the main priorities. So the content creation, I am going to look at those images, but I'm going to try to treat them sort of like a little bit of self-care, because it's kind of a very relaxing thing to do. Along with the daytime reading, I think those will work out as a nice self-care with a purpose. Does that make sense? Kind of both of them have that going for them. Diane Alex, she does this weekly. It is so much fun, isn't it? Fun and productive. Oh, I love hearing that. Thank you. Okay, guys, our next panel. I want to keep us moving along because we do have Jen's writing sprints coming up here. Self-care. This one is just a simple list that you can make for yourself. And then you can find pockets on your schedule where you want to have your self-care. You can either define within that pocket where you want, what self-care you want to do, or you can just have your little list and choose one of the things. And then there's your window for self-care, and you already have your mini list of the things you might want to do. So your favorite activities, getting outdoors, trying something new, journaling, which is so amazing, reading, and playing games. And it does not matter whether they are card games, board games, or video games. They all fill us up and make us feel good. So schedule in your self-care. You deserve it and need it. All right, guys, our next panel is, our next stage is Story Beats. This is the frame over which you drape your plot. So the first one is, you're going to think in terms of the number of care days or sick days you want to wellness days that you want to basically put into your schedule. Do you want one a week? Do you want one every 2 weeks? One a month? Thinking about sort of the season we're in. We are in cold flu season, so we kind of put them in there. We don't necessarily, they're not going to necessarily land where we need them, but they help us to remind us to keep our schedule a little bit, ease our schedule a bit, knowing that we don't have every day of the week fully booked, right? Your mental health days, buffer reset days, your low energy days, and your celebration days. When we want to celebrate, we want to be there our whole selves. So we want to make sure those go on our calendar as well, so that we make sure that we're making room for them in our lives, so we can be present and celebrate properly and take in that joy and just enjoy the moment. All right, guys. The next one is major conflicts. These are your breaks in your routines. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. So your good ones are your vacations, your holidays, your conferences. Renovations are a good thing, although you have to survive through them. Then there's things like surgeries and stuff, right? So things that are going to disrupt your regular flow and your schedule, and it usually takes some time to get back to them. Usually we want to be able to take a break when we're having our vacations, holidays, or going to conferences, so that we can relax and participate and enjoy. Surgeries, we want to be able to recover and give ourselves the time we need for that. And no matter what, either end, there is going to be a transition period as you come back to your normal routine and find your way back to it, little step by little step, right? Storyboard. This is looking in terms of your overall schedule. Which days will be full days, which means you have the entire day to yourself to do whatever you want. Half days tend to be where you have to go to work part of the day, and then the other half of the day is yours to do what you wish. Pinch days are those crazy busy days where you go to work all day, but then you have to put that doctor's appointment in there, and then you got a prescription, you got to go do that, and your child still has some activities at the night that they have to go to, and it just cascades to the point that the things that matter to you, you might find a 5 or 10 minute window for. But make that 5 or 10 minute window available to yourself. Steal it however you can, so that way you're always staying in touch with your creative projects. It makes it easier to keep going, and you don't and no 0 days, right? Life task days are the Erin days that I'm talking about, where I decide, okay, I'm out of the house. I'm out of the house. I'm not scheduling any work. I'm going to get as many things ticked off that box off my list as I can, so that I don't have to interrupt other days with these types of tasks. And true days off, give one to yourself every once in a while, so you can really relax and just reset and do some of the things that you want to do that sometimes you don't give yourself time for, right? Relax. Really, that's what we're looking for. A day of true relaxation and a little bit of joy. We also want to look at our tasks and our projects in terms, especially our projects, not so much our tasks, but which act are we in? If we're in Act 1, we're in the honeymoon stage. If we're in Act 3, we're nearing the end and our energy is picking up and we know we're almost done. In the middle, we got to manage that. Same way when we manage right in the middle of our novels, in the middle of our art, when it's kind of not quite coming together the way that we see it in our heads, and we have to manage to get through those steps. Those are probably the more draggy parts, and we kind of learn how to manage those. So when you're looking at your projects, look at what act you're in, so you know what kind of energy you have to give to it, right? Rising action. This is all the events that happen in the story on the way to the climax. So this is going to be our plan, and we're going to create it using deep focus days. Which goals will you focus on per session? Think in blocks of 2 to 3 hours. This is like coming together for our writing sprints. That is a deep focus time. We are taking 2 hours of our time to focus in on our novels and make progress on them and get the words on the page, get our characters moving toward the end. What is your agenda for these sessions? So often you give yourself like a little mini plan of, a few tasks or specifics that you want to see done. I try to go into a writing session saying that I'm going to at least get one chapter written, or if it's more the brainstorming side of it, I'm going to work on character A and figure out the setting for B and, kind of things, right? So keep in mind your deep focus and try to schedule those in a few times during the week, so you're giving yourself that deep focus time to really dive into your work. And it moves the needle so much further when we do. The most important thing, what is your top goal for this week? What is your priority number one above everything else? What does that look like, and how does it move you forward towards your bigger goals? How are you going to protect the times you have scheduled for this project? I'm going to actually give us a 2-minute timer for this one, and let's just define what your most important thing for the week is. This is your non-negotiable, guys, and go. So what did you guys come up with for your most important thing? I wish this week I could say it's my writing. That was my project souls, but it is not. I need to get the main assignment done for module 11 so that I can have that done, and then I can proceed to go through and work through module 12, which, if I understand correctly, there are not a lot of assignments for on that one. So I just have to probably watch the videos on that part. And then, as my reward for that, I want to purchase a webinar on a related topic for development editing, as sort of I'm hoping a bit of a primer for the intermediate one, and give myself just that little extra bit of confidence going into the intermediate course. So that one I have to make priority number one. Let's see, Phyllis, my top goal is to complete my recap for the month and plan for next month and start to plan for Q2. Nice. Mildred, video project is number one this week. Must get that done to accomplish my goal of earning income for a living. Nice. Phyllis, writing, I want to back up my writing project in Dropbox and gain access to it in Scrivener. Oh, love it. I hope everything goes well for that and everything just cooperates. You probably were already using Dropbox. Like I said, I kind of did it out of order, which I had no choice because the other was already present. Okay, guys. Finally, the outline. You're going to create your master plan, ideal week. You're going to create Monday's plan, including your top 3. You're going to populate the rest of your planner and schedule your self-care, mental health, and buffer days. And can you successfully manage to do everything you've chosen with the time you have? Make adjustments as needed. This is the first draft of your weekly plan. Louise's top goal this week is to add to my work in progress. Beautiful. And as always, guys, our mantra, let's repeat her one more time because this is how we end up succeeding. This week, I will make myself a priority and follow through and give myself the time I need to make progress on the projects that matter to me. Phyllis, thanks for doing that. Thanks, I do too. I have not been able to access the project for over a month of Scrivener. I purchased a flash drive to back up my Dropbox. Oh, good. Okay, that'll work. Crystal, I'm having a hard time actually writing. My responsibilities are overwhelming at times. And then when I sit to write, I'm too distracted to concentrate. So need to figure out how to eliminate distractions. I would also say start small. You're probably wanting to sit down and have a nice, long, deep focus. But as you're learning to manage the distractions, start small and steal those 5 and 10 minute writing sessions and move your way up as your family starts to see that you are protecting that time. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. We only have a few minutes before Jen starts. I have to go take a meal break, and then I'm going to be back to do some writing with Jen tonight. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for planning with me. I hope you have an amazing week. When you get a chance, grab all your planner supplies, your washi tape, your markers, your Tombos, whatever you like, and get creative, get those stickers out, and make your planner a pretty place that you can have fun in. Louise, this has been fun. Thanks for hosting. You're so welcome. How do you know me, Trace? I know me. I know, guys. It's hard, guys. It's hard to take back and make ourselves a focus and a priority. It's hard. We're not really taught that in our society. So do your best, little change by little change, and you'll get there, guys. I promise. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow for our writing sprints at 5 p.m. Eastern, and I'll see you in Jen's in a little bit. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Bye. Bye, guys.